So you would need
20K. Don't you need 20K?
I don't know. I think it's a lot more than that.
I meant just for the application part.
Notice of the time, date, location, and agenda of this meeting, to the extent then known, was provided at least 48 hours prior to the commencement of this meeting in the following manner pursuant to the provisions of Chapter 231 of Law 1975, by posting such notice on the bulletin board in the municipal building and by email notification generated by IQM2 to the offices of the Independent Press, Bloomfield Life, Star Ledger, Patch, Bristonet, and Tap into Bloomfield. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Louise, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Mundell? Here. Councilman Joanna?
Here.
Councilwoman Cruz? Not here. Councilwoman Davis?
Here.
Councilman Gamble? Not here. Councilman Rockwell?
Here.
Mayor Venezia?
Here. All right. God bless you. First up, we have the township, we have public comments. Anybody here? Actually, we have township administrator.
We'll actually do that later during the regular portion.
Township administrator.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. First item up for discussion is the request for proposals for professional services. Everything was outlined in the package.
Does anybody have any questions, comments? This would be to move it to the regular meeting. All in favor? Aye.
Next up, Director Sturman.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The three items that you have next on the agenda are for the rehabilitation of the Lion Gate wetlands due to Tropical Storm Ida. So Kramer Environmental, Enviroscapes, and Your Way Construction are all vendors that have worked on that project during its building and construction, and they have intimate knowledge of the site. And these contracts will go through our FEMA reimbursement program that we've been working with due to the storm.
Okay. Any questions, comments? All in favor? Aye. Thanks, Mike. Number 3? I'm sorry, you did number 3 and 4, correct?
Yes.
Number 5?
Number 5, Mayor and Council, is a list of abandoned properties, most of which were produced by the Health Department, returned over to DPW for general maintenance of the abandoned properties.
Okay. Any questions, comments on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Number 6 is the adopted island program. We spoke about that at some previous council meetings. The recommendation is to present about the island program.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. In your package, you have the adopted island information. I took the liberty to write down some notes. I'll be brief, but the adopted island program was started by DPW 5 years ago. We wanted to develop a partnership between local landscapers and the township. Basically, the landscaper gets to advertise their business, while in turn making our islands and right-of-ways more appealing for our residents, businesses, and visitors alike. This year, the township plans to revitalize the program by making some additional changes. Changes include, in the addition to the overall maintenance of the area, adding seasonal plantings to enhance the aesthetics of each location. In addition, leaf removal will be part of the agreement. The cost to the business is $350, which covers the cost of the sign. DPW will handle installing each sign free of charge. To date, we have sent out 20-plus letters and have received some inquiries regarding the program. We do have a commitment from 2 landscapers, which include 4 locations. We do expect to receive additional responses over the next few weeks. Anybody has any questions or comments?
So, first off, I think the program's going great. One thing I think we need to, and listen, I know these landscapers are given free time to the township, but it seems like some are going above and beyond, and then others are just doing the bare minimum. So if there's any way we could put our heads together, kind of have all of them try to go above and beyond, I'm all ears for. I don't know, because I know it's tough because they're giving free time to the township, so. But that's something that I think would be.
Yeah, well, as we get more inquiries, I'll speak with them, and
Okay.
we've already, the one that is already coming back takes care of the island's beautiful, Marty O'Boyle.
Yeah.
They do an outstanding job. And then Property Services did a nice job at the end of the year last year. I believe Director Skirman spoke to the owner of their company, and they stepped it up, and they did a nice job too. So, in fact, he just removed leaves. But that's what our goal is going to be, to raise it to a whole nother level, not just cutting grass.
Yeah.
And chasing a landscaper around to cut the grass, which we had to run into that last year.
Perfect.
Mayor,
Councilman Mundell? Oops.
In our current agreement, we've included some of our expectations that go back out to the contract. So the contract now is a little different than it was historically, so some of those issues should be resolved with the new contract.
Perfect. Councilwoman Mundell?
So first of all, thank you for trying to bring this back. I know we attempted it like maybe 3 years ago to try to bring it back too, and had minimal luck, so I'm glad that it's moving again. And I agree that we need to have some sort of standard in terms of, what goes into these spots. Just sort of as an aside, or if we can pay attention to, the beautification committee had identified a number of areas also that they had planned to look at to try to do some work. And so I want to make sure that we're just not overlapping efforts, so if we can coordinate on that. They center generally around where the Welcome to Bloomfield signs are this year, and then of course like the Triangle and the library and a couple other places. So if we can just collaborate and coordinate so that we can make sure we're not doing double whatever, that would be great.
Okay, will do.
Thank you.
Perfect. Councilwoman?
Anthony, thank you for everything that you do, by the way. I hear you make us really look great in this town, so thank you for your work. I'm a little curious about the commitments, the inquiries, how long is the commitment for? How long is the contract for?
1 year.
It's for 1 year?
Yes.
And so it can be, if someone is not keeping the standard of which we expect, we can tell them that you've not been holding
Well, we
that
could
spot, or we
actually-
may move you to another place.
Yes, we actually have in the agreement, I think, that we could pull the sign, if we check on the properties and they're not doing what they're supposed to, then we could take the sign out, because obviously we want them, again, they're giving of their time, but we want the islands and the right-of-ways to look, nice and to a standard higher than they were.
Yeah, and it's a win-win. I mean, I hear that they're giving their time, but they're also getting this, incredible opportunity to advertise. There's so many landscapers out there. So to have your name on a township sign with a telephone, with the name and telephone, if it's telephone number, but it's definitely the name of the company there, they'd spend significantly more than that if it was a billboard. So I think we should look at it as a something that we're working on together, and not so much that it's like they are donating time. It's more like we're giving you something in that time. Because if it was truly the other way, it would just be that they're committing to do it, and we wouldn't put the sign there. The fact that the sign there, it's transactional.
Understood.
That means that we expect it to be at a certain level, and we shouldn't have to be looking for you. People should take pride in it. Okay.
Understood, thank you.
Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. Oh, yes, Councilwoman Mundell?
I had one other thing, and I guess on behalf of a number of the environmental committee, the beautification committee, and a couple other committees in town, they would be mad at me if I didn't ask that there could be some attention paid to planting native and pollinator plants.
We will follow up with that.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions, comments? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Anthony.
Thank you.
Mayor, number 7, Mayor and Council, is the recommendation for us to extend the temporary waiver of construction and zoning permits for tropical storm Ida permits.
Okay. Can I get somebody to move this?
I'll move it.
Motion, Councilwoman Mundell, second, Councilwoman Davis. Any questions, comments? All in favor? Aye. Number 8.
Number 8, Chief Venezia is here.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Up on the agenda is a proposal from Battalion 1 Consultants. This is to revamp the Bloomfield Fire Department's training program, to do a reevaluation, come up with changes, training, identify gaps, weaknesses. This will be a 6-month project. They've done 2 previous projects for us before, and they are a very good company.
Okay. Any questions, comments? Can I get somebody to move this? Motion, Councilwoman Cruz, second Councilman Joanno. All in favor? Aye. Number 9?
We have, for the past few years, done a shared services agreement with the Township of Paramus. Their DPW works on our fire apparatuses, and they, instead of going to private contractors, it's a better value for the township, and they are all certified and trained.
Okay. Can I get somebody to move this?
Motion.
Motion, Councilman Rockwell, second Councilwoman Cruz. Any questions, comments? All in favor? Aye. And number 10?
Number 10, we have Public Safety Director Mayo.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. This is just an acceptance of a $7,500 grant for our 2021 Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over grant, which we're actually using right now.
Okay. Okay, somebody to move this? Moved by Councilwoman Cruz, second Councilwoman Mundell. Any questions, comments? All in favor? Aye. Township Attorney?
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Item 1 is a recommendation to authorize opt-in to the National Opioid Settlement Participation Agreement. If you'll recall, Bloomfield was one of many local governments and state governments that was a litigant, or is a litigant into a nationwide opioid lawsuit. There's been nationwide settlements that have been reached with some of the pharmaceutical distributors and manufacturers, and the amount of money in the total pot, well, the amount of money in the total pot is somewhere in the 20+ billion category. So the more government entities that opt into the settlement, the more money that will be available in the pot for Bloomfield to participate in. Settlements allow, the settlement monies will allow for approved abatement uses and public health and things to treat intervention, treatment, education, and recovery from opioid addiction. So this would just allow us to participate in that.
Okay. Can I get a motion? Moved by Councilwoman Cruz, second Councilman Joanno. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye.
And Mayor, one thing I should say, this doesn't cost the township anything. This was a contingency-based case with the attorney that represented us, so they would get paid out of the settlement, not out of Bloomfield funds.
Great.
Item number 2 is a tax appeal settlement. There were 3 years being appealed in this case at an address of 124 Morse Avenue. The taxpayer is withdrawing 2 years of those 3 tax years under appeal, and the 1 year is a small reduction to the assessed value that will lead to about a little less than $6,000 in refund.
Okay. Can I get a motion? Moved by Councilman Joanno, second Councilman Mundell. Any questions, comments? All in favor? Aye.
Number 3, also in the tax appeal world, we're seeking authorization or permission to authorize the township administrator to settle certain low tax appeals. We have a number of cases, especially since the reval. There's always, in every town, not just Bloomfield, an increase in filed tax appeals. So those that have a single-year refund that doesn't exceed $5,000, and if there's multiple years under appeal, as long as that entire settlement doesn't exceed $20,000, we'd like you to authorize the administrator to settle those without having to first come back to the council for approval.
Okay. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
Moved by Councilman Rockwell. Second Councilman Gamble. Any questions, comments? All in favor? Aye. And number 4?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Finally, recommendation to reappoint our Assistant Director of Law, Steve Martino, who I don't need to introduce to any of you, and has been with the township for decades.
Moved by Councilwoman Davis, second Councilman Gamble. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Finance Director?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Item number 1 is the grant that the police director just referenced. We're seeking authorization to insert with a Chapter 159 into the 2021 budget.
Moved by Councilwoman Cruz, second Councilwoman Mundell. Any questions, comments? All in favor? Aye. Number 2?
So Finance has identified 2021 appropriations to cancel before the end of the year. This will help our water operating fund balance ahead of next year's budget. The total cancellation in water operating would be $1 million.
Okay. Okay, somebody to move this? Moved by Councilwoman Davis. Second Councilman Rockwell. Any questions, comments? All in favor? Aye. And number 3?
We've also identified 2021 appropriations in the current fund to cancel, and again, this will help us out with fund balance. The total cancellation in the current fund, $500,000.
Okay. Moved by Councilwoman Cruz. Second Councilwoman Mundell. Any questions, comments? All in favor? Aye. All right. And number 4?
Current fund transfers, we're seeking authorization for year-end transfers. This just shifts some funds between various S&W and OE budget accounts. It's all within current fund. The total amount of transfers, $650,000.
Moved by Councilwoman Cruz, second Councilwoman Mundell. Any questions, comments? All in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
All right. Township Engineer.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. The first item I have is related to our garbage and recycling pickup contracts. It typically was a 5-year contract. It will expire on December 31st of this year. In the 5 years we've had it, there have obviously been significant upheavals in the marketing and labor. A lot of this due to COVID-19. And speaking with our consultant, basically, we need to restructure the bid the way we originally put it together. Usually, we could boilerplate it, but this time we can't because the carriers are having labor problems. They no longer want to market the recycling like they used to, which is going to require us to. So the bottom line is we are putting together the bid, but it's taken us longer, and it will pass December 31st. So at this time, I'm requesting an extension of that contract till March 31st. And in that time, we could prepare a bid that's actually going to get bidders who will pick it up and put in a price. The thing about it is right now we pay $197,600 some dollars a month for both picking up the recycling and the garbage. We negotiated with Suburban that is going to go up to $270,000 for both of those. It's an increase, but again, speaking to our consultants on this, even if you bid this out, let's say tomorrow, we're looking at prices that are at least anywhere from 25% to 125% higher than they were in the past contract. So with this extension, we're doing fairly well. I wouldn't say we're doing great, but we're at least getting a decent price that falls in line with the lower end that I've been discussing. So based upon that, I'd recommend we take the March 31st extension and in the interim put together an appropriate bid. And who knows, it might be different on March 31st. The market might be better. We could hope for that, so we might get the best prices we can.
Okay. Can I get a motion? Moved by Councilman Joanno, second Councilwoman Mundell. Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Number 2?
Okay, the next one is an award of contract for our 16-inch water main that runs over the parkway at West Passaic Avenue. It's been out of service for a while. We put it out to bid. It wasn't a surprise to us. We got one bidder, J. Fletcher Kramer, because this is more of a specialized lining than what we're normally used to. The price is $260,800. Funding's available in our water capital.
Okay, can I get a motion?
Motion.
Moved by Councilman Rocco, second Councilman Gamble. Any questions, comments? All in favor? Aye. Number 3.
All right, the next item is, Public Works usually has a snow removal company to help them out during bad storms. We put that out to bid. We received one bid from Stanzial Construction. They currently hold the contract, and my understanding, and speaking to our Director of Public Works, is that they do a satisfactory job, and it is a necessary service, particularly when we get a lot of snow.
Okay. Can I get something moved by Councilman Mundell? Can I get a second? Second, Councilman Gamble. Any questions, comments? All in favor? Aye. And number 4?
All right, this is another bid. This is our 2021 hydrant replacement program. This is a second contract. It's essentially to put back in service and repair 38 fire hydrants within our systems so that they're functioning properly. We had 5 bids. The low bid was from John Garcia Construction for $257,000. Again, funding's available in our water capital. I recommend we award it to them.
Okay. Moved by Councilman Gamble. Second, Councilwoman Cruz. Any questions, comments? All in favor? Aye. All right. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
Township Clerk?
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor and Council. The first item is of Willow's Steakhouse. We've had some issues transferring the license due to the fact that the state ABC had just recently come back to work. So although we did it earlier in the year, there's some administrative corrections that need to be done on their transfer because Mrs. LaChurcha, who held the license previously, has moved away and it was in pocket for several years. So he's still operating and still has his, license per se as per us. It's just some, what can I say, red tape that needs to go through.
Okay.
So we have that on for the regular portion of the meeting as well.
Okay.
The second is a discussion of our 2022 town council dates. They're there for your review. Similarly, it's a usual schedule, conference and regular each month, and then we have several of combined meetings as tonight, July and August, and then December. And the first meeting of the year is January 3rd, 6:30 p.m.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody has any questions or
Does anybody on the council have any questions?
conflicts.
Perfect. Thanks, Louise.
Okay. The last item is a recent update. The Board of Elections has scheduled a ward commission meeting for December 16th at noon, and the meeting will consist of a swearing in, a review of the census tract numbers for each municipality, and scheduling future ward commission meetings. And of course, we will be one of the towns that will be probably moving some of our lines and wards. The numbers that were sent to us for population is Ward 1, 17,865, Ward 2, 16,083, and Ward 3, 19,202, which comes for a total of 53,150 for our census population.
Okay.
So I'll be there along with the Board of Elections, and Steve Martino is going to accompany me.
When we get that, can you just outline the process for us so we know what we're doing on the township side?
Okay. I'll do that right after the meeting.
Thanks. All right, Township Council, number 1.
Thank you. So I wanted to try to address some parking issues on Broad Street between New Street and Belleville Avenue, particularly the area where there's a lot of, there's a group of businesses sort of on the corner of Belleville and Broad. I think now there's 2 restaurants, a cleaners, and a couple of retail establishments. So it's getting more and more congested over there, particularly during heavily trafficked hours, and people are double parking constantly, and I know there's just traffic issues. There were traffic issues on my way over today. So just in driving by, you can see that there's a area sort of between New Street and Belleville Ave, if you're coming from here on the right side, where there's like a grassy area, between the sidewalk, a really large grassy area between the sidewalk and the street. And I wanted to see if there was any way we could look at expanding Broad Street there and putting the back, what's it called, reverse angle parking.
I would even add in going as far as, I believe that's Maple. What's
Yeah.
right next to the Nevada Diner? Maple
Sure.
Street, where, because it seems like a lot of those businesses are having their employees park on the street all day long, and it's creating a lot of gridlock.
Yeah, they park like up and down under the bridge, and it's becoming really congested over there. And I know if there's likely new buildings, apartment buildings coming in, so I think it's just going to get worse. So if we can look at some parking solutions, and I agree, if we could go even further down the road, that would be wonderful.
Okay, we'll get together with Director DeMayo and Paul Lasik and put together some recommendations. Take a look at the
Thank you.
area and the county as well.
Great, thanks.
Okay.
And parking on Bloomfield Ave.
Sure. Hi, everyone.
Councilwoman Cruz.
I bring this up because we have the county project of Bloomfield Avenue and some of the safety changes, but going towards Bloomfield Avenue, I understand it's eliminated close to 10 parking spaces going towards Newark. So I did speak with Sergeant Corey, who explained that the project is still happening and there's still some details that need to be ironed out, and that perhaps there's going to be parking added going towards Bloomfield Center on that side. So I think I just wanted to get clarity on what the solution could be and if there's any alternatives, because there are businesses there that have lost parking. And there really is very little options around that area. Maybe Berkeley Place there is some parking, but beyond that, there's not a lot of options. La France is really backed up. We lost, again, between, it really starts at La France and goes down to Ampere.
Okay, we'll take a look at the whole project that's going on down there and then get some recommendations together for you and see what we can do to improve it.
And in addition on that project, can we get any kind of communication from the county of what the timeline is and what the ultimate project will look like? So maybe we can share that and communicate with residents so they know what the actual goal is in the end.
Okay, yeah, we'll get some information from the county,
Okay.
pass along, absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, liaison reports. All right. Can I get a motion to adjourn into closed session? Second. For any public, we have to go into closed session for about 15 minutes, and then we're coming back for the regular meeting. Okay? All in favor? Aye. It's all right. You guys ready to go?
We are.
I'm talking to the clerk.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, we are.
Just give us 1 second while the recorder goes on.
So this is gonna get longer, right, geographically? No. Is it 16? Don't we have to make them go in number-wise? No?
If anything, we just take more. We actually need to, there's certain districts that we have to, put into the, we'll work on that. Like certain districts, especially that board, one has 700, and then one has 1,500. All right, welcome back, everyone. First up, we have communications written.
Thank you, Mayor. There are notices from the Essex County Board of Chosen Freeholders, now called Commissioners, ordinance Number 5, establishing New Jersey County Option Hospital Fee Pilot Program for the County of Essex. Number 2, there are 2 suspected hazardous substance discharge notifications, 353 Ampere Parkway and 216 North 17th Street. A letter from Antia Group USA forwarding a copy of a classification exception area, well restriction area regarding the former Getty service station. A letter from New Jersey DEP, a response action outcome form for Sunoco site. One from Response Action for Extra Storage Space, also known as the former Sharing Corp. At 104 Orange Street. Letter from DEP regarding the Watershed and Land Management Program application. From Passaic Valley Sewerage Commission, a listing of their 2022 public meeting schedule, which is actually posted and on our first floor bulletin board. Notice of a hearing from the Planning Board on December 14th at 6:30 for the property known as 26-48 Bloomfield Avenue. And lastly, the Planning Board application hearing December 14th, 6:30 also for a property known as 98 Broad Street. That's all, Mayor.
Thank you, Louise. Do we have anybody here for public comment? Okay. Moving on. Hearing upon adoption or amendment of proposed ordinances on second reading. Number 1.
Mayor and Council, I have an ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 387 of the Bloomfield Township Code, providing parking for physically limited persons. So moved.
Second.
Second, Councilman Joanno. Do I have any questions or comments from members of the public? Do I have any questions or comments from members of the council? Louise, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Mundell?
Yes.
Councilman Joanna?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cruz?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman Gamble?
Yes.
Councilman Rockwell?
Yes.
Mayor Venezia?
Yes. Number 2.
I have an ordinance to amend Chapter 75, Police Department, Article 1, General Provisions, Section 75-1, Composition, Appointments, Additional Personnel within the Township Code, creating an exemption from the examination requirement for an entry-level law enforcement position pursuant to NJSA 11A:4-1.3. So moved.
Second.
Second, Councilwoman Cruz. Any questions or comments? Louise, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Mundell?
Yes.
Councilman Joanna?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cruz?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman Gamble?
Yes.
Councilman Rockwell?
Yes.
Mayor Venezia?
Yes.
Mayor, can I just stop? Did you do ask if the public had any questions on that one?
Does the public have any questions?
I know there's nobody here, but
Does the council have any questions? Louise, please call the roll.
thank you.
On number 2 or 3?
2.
Okay. Councilwoman Mundell?
Yes.
Councilman Joanna?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cruz?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman Gamble?
Yes.
Councilman Rockwell?
Yes.
Mayor Venezia?
Yes. Number 3.
Mayor and Council, I have an ordinance to amend Chapter 5, Administration of Government, Part 6, Additional Committees, Boards, and Commissions, Article 25, Community Garden and Community Garden Committee, in the Code of the Township of Bloomfield, County of Essex, State of New Jersey. So moved.
Second.
Second, Councilwoman Davis. Are there any questions or comments from members of the audience? Are there any questions or comments from members of the council? Louise, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Mundell?
Yes.
Councilman Joanna?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cruz?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman Gamble?
Yes.
Councilman Rockwell?
Yes.
Mayor Venezia?
Yes. And number 4.
Mayor, Council, an ordinance to amend Chapter 640, nuisances, public health within the Township Code of the Township of Bloomfield. So moved.
Second?
Second, Councilman Gamble. Any questions or comments from members of the public? Any questions or comments from members of the council? Louise, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Mundell?
Yes.
Councilman Joanna?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cruz?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman Gamble?
Yes.
Councilman Rockwell?
Yes.
Mayor Venezia?
Yes. Consent resolutions. Councilman Gamble, would you move numbers 1 through
64.
64?
Mayor and Council, I'd like to move consent resolutions 1 through 64. So moved.
Second.
Second, Councilman Rockwell. Are there any questions or comments from members of the council? Louise, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Mundell?
Yes.
Councilman Joanna?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cruz?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman Gamble?
Yes.
Councilman Rockwell?
Yes.
Mayor Venezia?
Yes. And new business.
Mayor and
Number
Council,
one.
I have a resolution for 2022 health insurance renewal. So moved.
Second.
Second, Councilwoman Lundell. Are there any questions or comments? Louise, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Mundell?
Yes.
Councilman Joanna?
Yes.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
Okay. Councilwoman Cruz?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman Gamble?
Yes.
Councilman Rockwell?
Yes.
Mayor Venezia?
Yes. Number two.
Mayor and Council, I have a resolution for discussion of transfer of employee number 045849. So moved.
Second.
Second, Councilman Joanna. Are there any questions or comments? Louise, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Mundell?
Yes.
Councilman Joanna?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cruz?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman Gamble?
Yes.
Councilman Rockwell?
Yes.
Mayor Venezia?
Yes. Number three.
I have a title change, employee 093263. So moved.
Second.
Second, Councilwoman Cruz. Are there any questions or comments? Louise, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Mundell?
Yes.
Councilman Joanna?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cruz?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman Gamble?
Yes.
Councilman Rockwell?
Yes.
Mayor Venezia?
Yes. Number four.
Mayor and Council have a resolution for title change for employee 100169. So moved.
Second.
Second, Councilwoman Davis. Are there any questions or comments? Louise, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Mundell?
Yes.
Councilman Joanna?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cruz?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman Gamble?
Yes.
Councilman Rockwell?
Yes.
Mayor Venezia?
Yes. Number five.
Mayor and Council have an extension of catastrophic leave for employee 001240. So moved.
Second?
Second, Councilman Gamble. Are there any questions or comments? Louise, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Mundell?
Yes.
Councilman Joanna?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cruz?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman Gamble?
Yes.
Councilman Rockwell?
Yes.
Mayor Venezia?
Yes. And do we have number six, Councilman Gamble?
Yes, Mayor and Council, I have licenses for December 13th, 2021 for movie filming, Sharp Entertainment LLC, and Esteban Palma. So moved.
Second.
Second, Councilman Rockwell. Do we have any questions, comments? Louise, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Mundell?
Yes.
Councilman Joanna?
Yes.
Councilwoman Cruz?
Yes.
Councilwoman Davis?
Yes.
Councilman Gamble?
Yes.
Councilman Rockwell?
Yes.
Mayor Venezia?
Yes. And Councilwoman Mundell?
Mundell, okay.
Councilwoman
It's like twice.
Davis?
It's okay, we look alike. I'm so tickled by that, I forgot what I was going to say. All right, so I wanted to remind everybody, or to tell others, that this Saturday we're having, in our season of service and giving, we're having a drive and drop. So we'll be accepting non-perishable items in the parking lot at the Board of Education this Saturday, December 18th, 10 to 2. So we had a great event at ShopRite, and we filled 25 barrels and raised over $1,000 to help. So we're really pleased at what we can do, and we know that the town can double that with the drive and drop.
Thank you, Councilwoman Davis. Before we conclude, I just want to, this is our last meeting of the year. We meet on January 3rd. I want to wish everyone, I know Hanukkah has passed, but a happy Hanukkah, a Merry Christmas, and a happy Kwanzaa. I want to recognize our very own Kathy Finkler, who passed the New Jersey Clerks Association exam. Congratulations, Kathy. And can I have a motion to close?
Motion to adjourn.
Adjourn.
Second?
Second. All in favor? Aye.